And welcome to the Main Event Sports Show. We're coming to you live from 1201 South 1st Street, the old Louisville Pizza Company. You know, we're here every Monday breaking down all the topics in sports, and we would love for you to join us. Every Monday night between 7 and 8 p.m., we'll be here at the old Louisville Pizza Company with pizza specials and drink specials and everything else. So, hey, come on out and enjoy us because we always have good times and great topics.
That's right, Haven. It's going down 1201 South 1st Street. And you know what? Always a great time out here. Free pool. Get to talk sports. Get to meet the blind swordsman. You know what I'm saying? Talk to the Main Event Sports crew. See our cast of thousands. You know what I'm saying? Come get some good food. They always have great pizza, drink specials. You know what I'm saying? Get some of those wings, the dry rub wings, Have.
Hey, that's
the dry rub wings, man.
Those are thunder.
I'm telling you.
Dry rub's the way to go.
Absolutely, absolutely. So come on down 1201 South 1st Street every Monday here for Main Event Sports TV Live. It's just amazing, the energy in the building. There's always folks running up and down Haven, like calling out people on the street as they're walking by. It's absolutely hilarious.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
And I do want to give a shout out to my people watching this on Facebook Live as well. What's going on with y'all? It's a Monday. NBA playoffs, the start of a 2-month endeavor, Haven.
Gosh.
2 months.
Forever. Man, the NBA playoffs are like literally forever. They'll
start on April 14th. And the NBA Finals do not begin until, I believe it is June 3rd. This is the first game of the Finals. They already have the date set.
And it was like one game every like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So
like, it's unbelievable.
Crazy. Now, I know they're trying to milk the playoffs for every dime they can, and they're doing that. But you know what? Let's start off with our first topic of today, which is U of L spring game, which took place Friday.
That's right.
And, you know, this was
the pass era begins.
Man, this was everybody's first time being able to see the Louisville football program, like the retooled Louisville football team, new quarterback, new defensive coordinator. You got new starters replacing your top 3 defensive players. And each of those top 3 defensive players, each played like one was all defensive line, one was your linebacker, one was arguably one of the best safeties or cornerbacks in all of college football in Jair Alexander. So you're replacing like 3 tremendous players in the defense. You're replacing the Heisman Trophy and the quarterback. You know, replacing so many stars. So it was interesting to see like what this team would look like. And the reason it's so interesting is because for the first time in forever, all the practices were closed.
Yeah, well, what did you think about that? Like to me, I know Bobby Petrino. When he came around the first time, when he was young, energetic, Bobby just getting off the coordinator stage, I remember Louisville would have like all their practices open in the spring. You know, he'd let the fans come out, interact, see every practice, come out to the spring game, and get to watch that team as they went from the shorts, the shorts and no pads, to pads and shorts, to full pads, and watch those guys develop and see those names develop. But now he's like Mr. Hyper secretive SEC guy. Like, what do you think about that?
You know, I was disappointed because to me, this killed all the hype for Louisville football in the spring. I mean, granted, I know we just hired Chris Smack as our head basketball coach, and everybody was really excited about the Chris Smack era. But still, it's spring football. I mean, this is like all ESPN had on there was like spring football. This is all you saw on ESPNU was let's cover spring football and what's these guys doing in spring. And outside of the press releases from Louisville's athletic department, you really didn't know what was going on during spring. And to me, it killed a lot of hype that you could have had going into the spring break. I thought you could have had a lot more hype coming into the spring game with people saying, I want to see this guy. I saw this guy in practice, and this guy looked good. I can't wait to see him after a couple more practices. Because, usually Bobby would at least have like 1 or 2 or 3, games, like practices in the spring that were open.
Yeah.
Like maybe like 3. and then the rest will be closed. But in those first 3 practices, you kind of got your appetite wet for football. You know, you was kind of excited to see, okay, I saw these couple of guys in practice. This guy surprised me. This guy looked really good. Man, I can't wait to the spring game. But you didn't have any of that. Like, you listen to local sports talk radio, it was all basketball all the time. Basketball recruiting, what's Chris Mack eating for lunch, how, does he pick his nose or not? Is Bill Murray going to be here?
He had a grilled cheese sandwich at the corner.
Yeah, that's all you talked about.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? And it's unfortunate. I understand that, Bobby Petrino, I guess, especially with Alabama being the first team on the schedule, he's trying to be very, very secretive and keep as much under wraps as he prepares for Saban and company. I think that might have had a little bit to do with it. But to me, everything is so vanilla in the spring anyway. It's not like you're putting your game plan install in. And, I thought he went a little bit overboard with it. I think that nobody paid as much attention to it because the Chris Mack watch was on, and them trying to figure out if Louisville was going to hire him and that whole deal.
But even with that, even with the whole Chris Mack saga going on, you still should have had some type of hype. You still should have had somebody out there, covering the game, something going on. You still should have had something going on. You still should have had an open practice or two to kind of get people excited about what's going on. And it just wasn't there. But you know what? They had the spring game, and Jawon Pass this year, as I'm going to transition to what happened in the spring game. Jawon Pass this year was better, I think, than Jawon Pass last year, but some things were very similar. Like last year in the spring game, he started off really, really slowly. The first half of the spring game, it was kind of really slow. He missed a lot of guys who were open, kind of overthrew some guys, underthrew some guys. And you could tell, though, he was really nervous, and the nerves kind of got to him. And then the second half, he looked like a completely different quarterback, like he was an all-star. And this spring game, he kind of saw that as well. Interception, there's a fumble. He didn't fall on a fumble immediately. Missed a couple of guys that were kind of open. The defense actually did a pretty good job of covering guys this year. But, he still missed a couple of guys. And then the second half, he was a world beater. So, but you could tell he's getting better. You could tell his progressions are getting better. The way he stands tall in the pocket, you can tell he understands more of the offense this year than he did last year. So some good things to kind of take away, from the spring game.
Yeah, you know what? I think that Jawon did exactly what he's supposed to do. He threw for a lot of yards. His numbers were very similar to what Lamar Jackson did in the spring last summer. I think that he looked good. He's a different quarterback. He's not going to be a guy that's electric with his legs. I think that was one of the reasons why I had a lot of fans talk to me after the event saying that they thought Malik Cunningham looked better, because that's more of what they've been used to over the last 3 seasons, watching Lamar Jackson just be amazing. And they see Cunningham and see a lot of that Lamar in him. But I think that what Jawon Pass is he's an NFL quarterback. He's a guy who's got the size, the arm strength. I thought it was interesting that Des Fitzpatrick made a point to mention that one of the big differences between Lamar and Jawon is that while Lamar threw everything at 1,000-mile-an-hour fastball, Jawon understands how to take a little off and throw a more catchable pass. And I think that's something that we will see. Those nuances will be different to where, some of those short intermediate passes, the fact that Jawon's a bigger guy is going to be able to, he's going to have a little bit easier time seeing over the lineman, making some of those passes, being able to stand in the pocket and make completions down the field. So I think that all in all, he looked good. I think Des Fitzpatrick looked like a superstar. People have to remember, though, while they talk about Des Fitzpatrick, Jalen Smith is sitting out the spring. So when you have the trio of Jalen Smith, Des Fitzpatrick, and Seth Dawkins there, you have a second-year in Corey Reed, second-year guy Corey Reed as well. The wide receiver core as well as Mickey Crum at tight end, they're going to be absolutely dynamic.
Well, no, the receiving core for me was never a question mark with this team. To me, the question marks are kind of like running back. You got Colin Wilson. You know you have Dave Williams.
Hey, that's a nice start. That's a nice spot to start from, though.
That's a great spot to start from.
That's a nice deal.
And these guys are actually going to have to carry the load. So it's going to be interesting to see how Louisville kind of puts their running attack together this year versus last year, number one. Number two, I'm still concerned about the defensive line.
Yeah.
I know they added some guys. I know some guys are going to be here in the fall that can bring depth. But, man,
Alan Love, the big defensive tackle, just said he'll be here next month. So.
Yeah, but, bringing new guys in on the defensive front, which is, to me, the trenches are the most important part of the team. Yes, it's great to have an all-star quarterback. Yes, it's great to have wide receivers. And, yes, it's great to have running backs. But if you don't have an offensive line, none of that matters.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And you can have the best secondary in the world. Without a defensive line, it won't matter.
Yeah.
So, to me, I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with that defensive spot. Well, with guys like Gigi Robinson, guys who's been here in this system for a while, guys that we have, that we expect a lot from, will they be able to step up and be dominant? Because, last year they really weren't. Like Travion Young had some great spots. Has some great spots from like the defensive tackle whose name escapes me that left that's now trying to get in NFL. So, he's going to be hard to replace. And you just didn't see a lot of production out of Louisville's defensive line last year, and we need to see that this year. We really need to see better production out of the defensive line.
I'm just going to put it like this. You had a defensive coordinator in Peter Sherman last year that his whole defense was run to the football. Everybody line up. And then just run to the football.
Okay.
That's like the worst defensive scheme ever.
Okay,
so,
you know what?
I mean, you know what?
Peter Sherman was trash.
You can talk about the
we know
production, and that's why I have to put it with a grain of salt, because Peter Sherman had literally no idea what he was doing. I think the fact that you bring in BVG, Brian Van Gorder, a guy who's experienced over 35 years of defensive coordinator experience, he's going to be a guy who's going to have a system. He's going to have his guys set. They're going to be in position. There's going to be schemes. There's going to be plays. And I think it's going to be a wait and see. I really don't think we know how good this defense is going to be, because you had an idiot running the defense last year. I'm
true.
sorry. You know what? Peter Sherman's terrible.
He was terrible.
And you know what? The main event, I'll give Haven credit, because after the first game up in Indianapolis, when Louisville played Purdue in the first game, he said that literally Sermon is horrible. He had to go. And I thought it was too early. I did not make that assessment until the third game. I thought he was playing vanilla and just trying to hold something back for Clemson. But then when I see the Clemson game come around and literally nothing changed.
It's the same dude.
At that point, I was like, yeah, he's horrible. So, we just don't know. We don't know how good the defense is going to be.
But Louisville has talent, especially in the secondary. Rajay Burns, Trinity grad, went to Ohio State. Now he's coming back. He should be great. So you have like pieces here and there.
You got great safeties. You got good cornerbacks. You have talent. You have talent at the linebacker cores.
Yeah, but how that looks, I'm also very interested to see, which we really didn't get to see in the spring game, and you probably won't be able to get to see it until probably Western Kentucky, which is the second game, the third game of the season, is exactly what Louisville's offense is really going to look like post Lamar Jackson. Are we going to see a return to 2004?
I think you're going to see a first game
with the spread power.
Because I think Bobby. Oh, absolutely. Bobby Petrino's not going to be holding anything back when you have Alabama as the first game.
I just want to see if it's even going to be a new.
offense, I personally just,
or his old offense.
When you have Cole Bentley, looks like he's probably going to be the center. And you have so much power and strength up the middle. You have a big physical running back like Dave Williams. You have a big, strong quarterback like Jawan Pass. This team is ready-made to be that Bobby Petrino 03, 04, 05 era type of team. They're built for that. They have the guys that can play that. They have big receivers on the outside, physical running back in the middle, big quarterback who'll be excellent play action. I think this team is ready built for it.
Here's the thing, that's what I want to see. Am I convinced we're going to see it? I don't know. I'm not convinced.
I'm convinced. I
that's
think it's
what
going
we
to
wanna
Bobby, I'm giving you one shot, Bobby. All right, look, I know we had a falling out. I know we almost fought after the Kentucky game press conference. You know we've had our ins and outs. But I'm just going to tell you this, Bobby. You got one more shot with me, man. You know what? I loved you when you came the first time. You held it down. I was down in Miami. I cried when Devin Hester got the kickoff return. You know what I'm saying? My heart sunk. I felt the power that is the Orange Bowl. But you know what? We lived and we died together. We reached amazing heights. The Orange Bowl victory. You came back this time trying to do this new Coke thing with the whole running quarterbacks and the Lamar Jackson and the run spread, which has never been a part of anything you do. You have one more shot to get back to what made you great. Don't do the new songs. If you're Luther Vandross, Luther, don't do the fast songs. Do the slow songs, Luther. Do what you do.
Basically, what he's saying is, we want Fat Luther back.
Exactly.
We want the Fat Luther with the Jerry Curl back.
Absolutely.
Or at least Bobby 1.0 back.
Please.
Because
just go back to what you do, man.
I'll be honest with you, and I said this before. I think Bobby 2.0 is a good coach. Bobby 1.0 was a great coach. He was a top 5 coach. Bobby 2.0 is a top 25 coach. He's good, but he's not great.
Is he top 25?
Yeah.
I mean, he had Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
If Reggie Bonifant was the quarterback instead of Lamar, and Lamar is at Florida, the last 3 years, is he a top 25 coach?
I would still say I would say this. I still believe he's a top 25 coach. He can be. Granted, did he underachieve with Lamar the past 2 years? Yes. I'll admit, yes, they underachieved. Last year they underachieved because the defense was trash. If he would have kept Grantham, I think last year would have been a completely different season. A completely different season.
I agree.
But he didn't have Grantham. He had Sermon, and that was trash. I
agree.
It is what it is. But I'm curious to see what this offense is going to look like. I hope he's trying to go back to 2004. Not so much to Brian Brown era, because Brian Brown was a statue. Him and Hunter Cantwell were statues. LaFleur's could run. And he was touted, he was a great 400 runner, but he was also one of the most accurate passers in college football history. I'm hoping we see more of the 2004 team, where, yes, LaFleur's did run.
Yeah.
You go on YouTube right now and watch the Liberty Bowl game at Louisville and Boise State, and you can see a lot of called runs for Stephon LaFleur.
Hey, and you know what? I just got to give a shout-out to our ladies. Yeah, everybody knows that the ladies support the Main Event Sports Show, but I'm just looking at the folks who are checking us out on Facebook, and literally I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first 6 folks that joined were all females.
That's because we got green eyes.
I just want to give a shout-out to the ladies, man.
That's
I appreciate you guys
bandit.
supporting the Main Event
It's all
Sports
because
Show.
of the green eyes. So, to kind of sum up the Louisville Spring game, it was a great game. I was excited to see a lot of this young Louisville talent. I'm really excited to see what this new little Cardinal team's going to look like face Alabama.
I want to see Tutu.
I'm really excited to see them in Alabama. I'm really excited to see some of the younger guys, especially some of the guys
Tutu Atwell, man,
that are coming in the spring. Coming in the fall. Because a lot of Louisville's big guns are coming in the fall. And I really want to see what's going to happen with those guys, how they integrate into the team, and how they attack Alabama coming out.
Yeah, like we talked about, Mike Boykin, who's a guy who Louisville wanted the first time around. He ended up going the JUCO route, came back the second time around. He's going to be very, very important. Having a guy like Jonathan Grenard come out and be a leader and be that Lorenzo Malden type of player is going to be extremely important as well. I think that it's going to be very interesting to watch how this goes. It's going to be very exciting. I know a lot of Louisville fans have basically just resigned it to, you know what? When you're going to play the 800-pound gorilla, let's just go in and have fun. Maybe we get in there, throw a couple jabs, catch him with 1 or 2 before he knocks us out. I think everybody's kind of going into the Alabama game like that. So, it's the most relaxed that I ever thought it would be heading into the Alabama game. I thought there would be so much trepidation and angst going into this game, but Card Nation seems to be very relaxed with everything.
It seems to be relaxed when you think you're going to lose. It can't get easier than that. I don't think anybody really expects us to go down there and beat Alabama. I think people would be overly excited if we stay competitive with Alabama. Like if we go down there and are competitive.
Alabama is such a good team. If Louisville can play within a touchdown to 10 points, they'll probably be ranked.
Honestly, I would say like 17 points.
I mean, no, that's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah,
I mean, if they
because
play them
31 points.
If that's what I'm saying. I mean, if they play them within a couple of touchdowns, they literally could be ranked in the top 15 by the time the game's over. I mean, that's
on a good loss.
Hey, I'm telling you.
But like I said, I'm excited to see what happens this year. I think next year will really be the breakout year for U of L when a lot of these younger guys are season after year. But you know what? Louisville only has 4 away games, and everything else is at home.
Yes.
So this is a good season for the young guys to kind of cut their teeth, for Jawan to kind of get the butterflies off his stomach.
But it's still a tough schedule.
To kind
it's still
of
a tough
get everything
schedule.
together.
They got Georgia Tech on the roster. I mean, on the schedule this year. They got Western Kentucky on the schedule this year. You got
no man. Yeah, but all those guys are home, so it makes it.
You still got Clemson. You got Florida State coming here.
You got the Willie Taggart Florida State Express. That's going to be a great game.
I mean, it's going to be rough.
You go to Clemson as one of your away games, but you know what? A very manageable schedule. Once again, Louisville should hopefully be on 8-4. I think just from watching the spring game, I'm going to say this 8-4 right now. Everything can change after you see them play for real with all the freshmen here and they're fully staffed up. But you know what? I'm very excited to see what the 2018 Cards have to bring. I'm excited for the Jawan Pass era. I can't wait to see, what kind of wrinkles that they add to this offense. And I'm really excited to see the defense. I think the defense will be a lot better than it was last year, but not as good as Grantham's defenses.
I mean, I will take anything better than last year. Louisville was like the worst Power 5 defense in the country. Like they made that freshman Dotson for Wake Forest look like
no, time out. Everybody last
year. He looked like old school Joey Galloway for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Everybody last year had their best games against U of L.
Like, it was ridiculous.
Boston College had more yards than they ever had in the history of the program.
Yeah, so
okay, we'll just skip that. I'm excited about next
year. Gave up 45 points to Boston College? Are you serious?
Okay, you know what? That's last year. I'm excited about this year. And for everybody watching this video and everybody on YouTube right now, hey, please hit subscribe. If you like what you're listening to, hey, comment on the videos below because we're pretty active in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. If you like the video, hey, give us a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give us a thumbs down, but give us something. And stay tuned for the Main Event Sports Show. We're on every Saturday at 104.7 FM WLOU.
Hey, 104.7 Main Event Sports Show. Check us out, maineventsports101.com. And don't forget to go download the app, iPhone, iTunes, or the App Store. Go there, search keyword Main Event Sports. Everything Main Event Sports, keep it in your pocket. Hey, this is Rashawn Myers, Haven Hereford, 1201 South 1st Street, Old Louisville Pizza Pub, and we out.